at Maria Duron is me on Twitter or X, or the at Marketing Coach Maria is me on Instagram. Okay, I'd love to be able to retweet, repost, share you in my stories. So if you'll tag me, if you take any screenshots of what's happening today or what you're doing or how you're leveling up your skills, feel free to do that. And if you use the hashtag Grow with Google, or as everybody knows, I'm going to go ahead and type this here in the chat box. Today is also Webinar Wednesday. That's what we shout out. So you are welcome to utilize that tag of Webinar Wednesday. I would be honored if you did, because then everybody would know that you are truly leveling up your skills. So let's go. We know that data makes your briefcase heavy, right? It really is. There's so much information out there that you could, at a touch of your fingertip, reach for this little device and be able to answer anything in a Trivial Pursuit game, and you would be the star. But that's not what this is all about, because there are things that are neat, N-E-A-T, to know, and there are those things that we need, N-E-E-D, to know. And we're really going to be talking today about the things that we need to know. We know that data does tell us a story. So where are our customers actually coming from that come to our website? There are a lot of things that have served us at gut level, and whatever our gut decisions have been have got us here. But what got us here is not going to get us to the next level. And that's why it's important for us to really understand the story that our data is telling us, as well as how do people find us? You know, not just where they're coming from, but how do they find us? Because we might feel all of our business is locally, but then when we take a look and we see, my gosh, they're not locally, they're from 100 miles down the road, they're from another state. Now we have better insights to start making some decisions. What do they find most interesting? How many of you, just let me know if there's a tool that you use that actually measure that on your website to find what they find most interesting? Are you taking a look at what they click on, where they spend the time? Do you use heat maps like Lucky Orange, or maps that actually, or tools that actually record what people do on your site and where they go and what they click, like MouseFlow? What is it that you use to really find the best out from them? Because if you imagine, or what's most important, what they value, because if you imagine we're in an actual retail store and all day long or all morning long, people came in all morning long and they went from aisle 1 to aisle 3 and they didn't buy anything, 1, 3, 1, 3, and they didn't buy a thing. And then all of a sudden in the afternoon, they came in and they went from aisle 1 to aisle 4 and aisle 3, and then they bought something. Now you'd have questions. Is there something on aisle 4 that encourages them to buy? Is there something about my afternoon customer that's different from my morning customer? Is there something on aisle 1 that they see first that kind of makes them question the decision of even coming in the store? So if you look at your website, page 1, page 3, and they leave, why? And then in the afternoon, page 1, page 4, page 3, and then they do buy. And now I'm going to say buy, but I'm talking about a conversion action, which can be a success action, any success action on your site, which could be that they watch a video, fill out a contact form, that they contact you, they leave their email address, they download a PDF. Any of those are considered conversions or success actions. So that we're on the same page, a conversion is a success action. It's what you want them to do when they're on your website. So what sparks their curiosity? Okay, do any of you use any tools like that right now? I'd love to for you to know, let us know in the chat box. So please do share. Today, we're going to be talking about an introduction to Google Analytics, how you can understand your account and make your way around. Yes, you use Google Analytics. Awesome, Kelly. I love that. And then when you understand your account and what the numbers mean, because a lot of people don't know exactly what the numbers mean, and it can be overwhelming when you're just getting all that data, right? We talked about that. Data can be like a really heavy briefcase. Google Analytics search box, we're going to be talking about that. If you're used to Universal Analytics, which actually sunsetted in July of 2023, or yes, July 2023, we're in 2024, right? So it sunsetted then, and Universal Analytics, those numbers are no longer being populated. So we have to have Google Analytics 4. And then I'm not going to sell you Google Ads, but I am going to talk to you about when you're utilizing Google Ads and you connect the two, how they really help you control your cost and make a better hit, so a better bang for your buck with your ads. And then always I end with a free recap of things and resources, because I'm all about free or small fee. All right, so let's talk about Google Analytics. And I'm going to do this in a context of a story, right? Because we just talked about making sure that people hear our story. So in this instance, this business, Eva and Ricky, they have a fashion store. So they are making some decisions on what they need to do. They know their face-to-face customers who come in and they love their authentic designs, but they don't know what's really going to sell online. So they started using Google Analytics and they were going to test some things out because it's important to test before we make a big investment. So they've got their goals and their plans and why they need the information. But here in understanding goals, you need to SMART test all your goals. Now, you may have heard this acronym before, and it does stand for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. It's a 5-point test, and it's important for us to know and SMART test every single one of our goals. So is it specific? For example, if you say, I want more money, well, a penny in 10 years is more money. So be more specific. What do you mean? What's the time? See how it also has to be time bound as the 5th point? You need to make sure that all of this is addressed. So a lot of times when I'm working with businesses, they'll tell me, well, Maria, I want to have at least 1,000 more followers on Facebook or on Instagram, TikTok. They want any of that. And I'll explain to them, I said, that's great. I'm glad you like that. I know that does make us feel better that all of our posts and their efforts to put those posts together are seen. But what does 1,000 followers mean to you? And it's that next step, knowing what that means, that's so important. So in this instance, 1,000 followers to her, that meant that every time she posted, about 50 people would click through on the call to action. Of the 50 people that clicked on the call to action, 25 of them went to her website and signed up for her email newsletter. Now, she knows that socials is rented land. So she knows that if anything goes down, right, there's an Armageddon, Facebook won't let you in, you can't get into TikTok. How is she going to contact those customers afterwards? Well, now that she has their email address, she has something very important, a way to connect with them outside of the social platforms, because they can go down for any reason. It doesn't even have to make any sense. So now she's made it specific. Did she make it measurable? Yes, you can. Is it attainable? Only she knows her numbers. So I'd have to look at the history to see whether or not that's attainable, or if she's just shooting out there way too far in the moon. Doesn't mean that you can't hone it back, but you do need to know exactly whether or not this is realistic. Is it relevant? She has made it relevant now, hasn't she? By saying that she needs to build her email list, and this is a part of it. Is it time bound? Well, she'd have to say at the end of the month or the end of the quarter. Okay, that's how you keep it time bound. So it's important for each of us to SMART test every single one of our goals. And it does take all 5: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Is it relevant, or is it a vanity metric that is just making us feel good? And that 5-point test is so important. If you've ever seen a fly trying to get into a restaurant or a coffee house, and it's just like going up against the window, right? Well, when a fly is doing that, the more it does that, the more it's struggling, the closer it's getting it to its death. When just a few degrees over, there's an open door that it can get in. So you see, it's not about the struggle. It is about working higher, not harder, and knowing what those numbers are important. So in Eva and Ricky's case, they knew that they were going to do some testing out there, and they wanted to see an increase in visitors by 10% in 3 target cities in the next quarter, right? So they had city themed designs. They're going to focus on social, and they're going to monitor what's happening in Google Analytics. Now, let's SMART test that, everybody. Is it specific? Yeah, it's pretty specific. 10% increase, 3 target cities. Is it measurable? Yes, because we're going to be able to look at sales and look at the traffic and people who come visit their site through Google Analytics. We'll be able to see that. By the way, Google Analytics is 100% free. You can get that with a free personal Gmail account. You don't have to have a Workspace account. And then also, we're going to monitor how those actions are, whether it's the most profitable. Because just because somebody bought it or became popular and trended in a city doesn't mean that people are doing a success action, a conversion action. So what are their goals? They know that. What are yours? Why does your website exist? Why are you doing what you're doing today? What is it that you're doing today? And is everything that you're doing today getting you closer to your goal? So is it sales that you need? What is it that you need? Leads, appointments? Be really specific, because if we're not targeted, then we come across muddied. And when we're muddied and we share that with other people, now they are just confused as well, and they have no idea how to help. So when we are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound, then we can be that specific and hyper focused too in making decisions of whether this is contributing to that goal or is it taking away and distracting us from that goal. So for you, what are your goals, right? So as you look at Google Analytics, it is a free tool. So this is not Google Workspace that you need at all, the paid version of Google. You need the free personal Gmail account or Google account. Now, if you don't have a Gmail account, not to worry. You can sign up for a Google account. You don't have to get a Gmail account. You can use your own email, but you can still use this free Google account and create a password. And like any other password protected site, you'll use your current email address for your login as well as a password, and that's how you'll access it to get all of the free services available to you. All right. So as you look at this, you can understand exactly what's happening, right? And you can really know how or what is working for you in your marketing and what may have been a great idea maybe in your head, but not really executing or implementing with your best customers. So it's not resonating with them. And that's important for us to know too, because we may have created something, a service or a solution in our business or product that was solving a problem at a time. So we were our best customers at one time, but no longer, right? So we really need to know who that best customer is. In fact, it's on us to be experts on our customer. That lies solely on our shoulders. So we need to understand what content is most important to them. And then we can create that content instead of just wondering and getting up in the morning or turning on, the laptop, the tablet, you're sitting in the school drop-off line and you're wondering, what am I going to post? Now you're going to know exactly what it is, because it's going to be content that helps move them towards your goal, that success action. All right. And we're going to be able to evaluate channels. It may be wonderful to dance on TikTok and my Instagram stories are doing amazing, but if nobody's doing anything with that, and if I can't quantify that they've actually clicked through, then that doesn't mean that I've built any business. It made me feel good. It entertained people that I may know and followers. And yes, it's important for our content to entertain or educate, but it needs to be able to move us further, because we as small businesses don't have that kind of extra time to just play around. We need it to help actually build that bottom line. So if you go to g.co/analytics, which is the first blue text up there, you can create an account today. So you can have a free Google Analytics account and it will connect to your website. It works with Squarespace, with Wix, with WordPress, every website that's out there. It doesn't work with marketplaces like Etsy, eBay, Fair, Amazon, because those are very closed loop places, but you can see the traffic that's coming from there to come to your website. Because a lot of times some people will shop in Amazon to just kind of look around to see what's available, because it's just such a big marketplace, but then they will look for the actual business, the actual website, to see the product, to see if there's a better deal, maybe a guarantee, maybe you've got a subscription, a bundle. In fact, a lot of the businesses that I've worked with, they use Amazon as the place that is just the place that they're seen. So they might put 2 or 3 of their best moving products there. That's their strategy. And then they'll drive them to their site, which has everything else there, right? So then they can start building loyalty. Or they'll ask people, you know what, put your receipt number in and you'll get a special gift, even if you bought from us on Amazon, eBay, Etsy. Again, that's a great way for you to own your customer list, because owning your customer list is so important. Remember what I said, it's on us. All of the heavy lifting is on us to be experts on our customer. So how can we understand Google Analytics? Let me know in the chat box, how many of you have Google Analytics already? I'd love to know who's already using it. All right, perfect. Renata, thank you. I see Kelly that you are as well. I saw that earlier. Awesome. Jackie, thank you. Perfect. Sean, Adrian. All right. I'm in the past, but not currently. No worries, Candy. This is going to kickstart you back in, right? To really start looking at those numbers and hone in on what those numbers are, right? That are really helping you move further. Hello, Susan. Yes, Stephen. Perfect. All right. I'm glad to see some people already here using analytics. And if you don't, do not feel bad. It's easy to get started. You're actually in a great place because you're not going to get any bad habits, right? And it's why you started using it. Adrian, thank you. I'm so glad you started using it. So let's use it even further, really, because it can do a lot of heavy lifting for us. And if you've not spent any time in Google Analytics for, you haven't seen exactly what Google Analytics can do for you. So home is where you land, right? This is where the space that you get started. And you can do all that navigating on the left-hand side, just like any other Google tool. All that navigation happens primarily on that left-hand side. So make sure that you can see that and you can click on it. Sometimes it's just a home icon. Sometimes it says home, but if you click on the icon, it'll expand out to the right so you can make your way around. You'll see reports are underneath that, so you can look at customized reports and reports that are set up there. You can also set up your filters to reports so you can start comparing things. You can look at specific dates. So all of this is it's set up to help you look and find the data that you're looking for so that you know exactly if something worked and if you need to amp it up or if you need to change it up. All right. So the real-time report is where you drop when you're first into report. So it's right under the report snapshot, and the real-time report lets you know what's happening right now, this moment in real time on your website. Why in the world would you want to know that? Well, let's say I sent an email out just a moment ago and it is being released out, maybe just, gradually trickled on. So it's being set on an automatic schedule to do that. I would like to see if that is driving people to my site. Did the email campaign work? Did the post that I posted in my Instagram reel where I asked them to come and, DM me for the link and I sent them that link, does it drive them to the site? Is it working? So that's where we can get that verification in real time. Maybe you had a newsletter go out, an email, maybe you did a post, maybe you did something locally, or maybe even on television. I was working with a business. They had a product that was debuted on Good Morning, or the Today Show. Sorry, it was the Today Show, not Good Morning America, the Today Show. And on the Today Show, they featured it as one of the 12 fall must-haves. So they had to have this product. They had it up there. As it was released by time zone, I could see it travel across the United States in real time on when people would actually log in and take a look at their site. So that's what you can use real time for. Now, acquisition is where do people come from? And you can see that right there in that bubble to the right. It shows you exactly where that is. So what does direct mean? What does direct mean? Direct means they know your name. They know your brand. They know your .com, .net, whatever your website address is, because direct means they directly put your name in there. That is different from organic search. Organic search means that, if we're looking for Even Ricky, I know fashion shops. I know t-shirt shops. Maybe I want to look for boutique in Midland, Texas. So I know the industry, but I don't know you. But when you get traffic that's direct, that means they know your name. And that's important because as you're making decisions on the funnel, remember the funnel is like this. So it looks like this, upside down. It's big on the top. Awareness is on top. Consideration, where they get to know you and make decisions of whether or not they'd like to do business with you, and then conversion, where they do that success action, and loyalty, where they come back, where they share you with their friends. Where are you stuck? If you are stuck and spending a lot of money on awareness and you are getting a lot of direct traffic, my question to you is why? Because you already have people who know your name. I'm not saying that you don't need to do some brand awareness. You don't want to fall behind your competitors, but here is the question. If you only had $1 to spend and you were stuck in them knowing and trusting you, so they are aware of you, that you exist, they know your name, but they need to see some credibility, would you spend that dollar showcasing your reviews, or would you do more saying, this is who we are, and this is what we're about, and this is our story? So the brand awareness part of the business. So now you can make some really good business decisions. Cross network means that it was shared usually across network, which means that's usually paid, some sort of paid advertising. Referral is just like it sounds. Somebody linked you on their blog, put you within a post, shared you out, did a review for you, did an unboxing, whatever it is they did, they referred from their site to your site. There's paid search, which is just like it sounds. It's an ad. Paid search is ads. Organic search, remember what I said, they are knowing the industry, but they don't know your name. So they are looking, which means you're in the right place, which is important because it takes a tremendous amount of time, energy, and money when people are looking over here to get them to look over here. So if you know that they're searching for your product, service, or solution, that's a good match and you have a great chance to get them and have them see you because you're relevant. All right. And then there's also organic video. Now, engagement, what are they doing? So we used to talk about bounce rate, but bounce rate means nothing now. And the reason why I say that is because bounce rate was a universal analytics term. Okay, why did we use it in universal analytics? Because when somebody left a site and they didn't do anything within 1 minute or less, so they didn't touch or scroll, that meant they weren't interested. They did not find what they were looking for. The problem is we have all more than one device. We may have a couple of phones, an iPad, a laptop, a tablet, a smart TV, a desktop. So it could still be us going to a lot of different devices to go see. Just because we bounce from one device to the next does not mean that it's not something that we're interested in. So engagement now follows the person across all their devices as opposed to them just bouncing from a device. Monetization, how are you making money? Are you tracking that? Oh, I did a Google checkup yesterday. So when I do a Google checkup, I look at everybody's back end and just make sure all the plumbing is correct within Google. And they are an e-commerce store, but they did not have monetization set up. So they had no idea what kind of money they were driving. And I asked them, why don't you put your conversion goals in here so you can make some decisions? Because when you see something's making you $700 as opposed to $100, now you can make some really good decisions and you don't feel so emotional about it because the numbers are telling you the thing that's getting $700 is more important. Just because your cute puppy video only brought $100, that may make you feel sad for your cute puppy, but you're going to be super happy because you got 7 times that with the other ad or with the other post or the other email newsletter, right? And then how many are actually coming back? Because when you create and design your website for new people compared to returning customers, your content is different. The language is different. You have different frames of reference. And it's important for us to align with our customer. Being relevant is so critical. So you hear about the Google algorithm all the time. And I will tell you it's audience over algorithm, but to know the algorithm and how it is now designed for audience over algorithm, and it's even evolving more towards that with artificial intelligence, but know that relevance is number one in that pillar. There are about 1,000 pieces in that make up that pillar, but relevance is number one, which means that how well do you match what people are looking for and what are they needing when they say, hey Google, hey Alexa, or they go into ChatGPT, Claude, or Google Gemini and they're trying to search by AI exactly what they're looking for. Do you know their words? And are you retaining them if they are actual current clients? And then what tech are they using? Because this is also important too. 84% of us go here first, a mobile device. So whenever I'm working with teams, even in working with the Amazon team, they build for mobile first, and then desktop only if they have additional time, energy, and money, okay? Because they know the majority of their customers are coming in mobile. So do you know that? Hey, I wanted to take a moment to give a shout out to our sponsor, Shortform, which is a wonderful tool to help you be able to work smarter, not harder, by being able to take tremendous amount of information and get to the actual gist of it. Really, all of the key points from blog publications to articles to actual videos in YouTube to books. You have all of that available to you through Shortform, and I've got a free trial available for you utilizing this link. Every week I do the Google update, which every Wednesday the audio format comes out in our free community, and then on Thursdays you get it by email. How I'm able to do that because I look at 65 to 70 different sources, again from video to actual articles and publication, is I'm able to utilize Shortform to help summarize and look at exactly what is the key points that would be of most interest to me and whether or not I should delve in deeper so that I can apply how you can actually apply that as a small business and content creator, making the most use of an update for you. I utilize Shortform. Feel free to use this link for your free trial. If you decide to subscribe also using that link, you'll get 20% off, which is great because for the price of one book, you have access to all of this, and it truly is very focused and complete. It is the best tool that I get to use, and I wanted to share it with you. Thank you again to Shortform for sponsoring many of the audios in this video. So Google Analytics search box is really important for you to be able to see this, right? Because you can use this tool to help search things out. But now I want to take you on a little live because I love to do this. You guys know I love to do this. That way you can actually see what it looks like. Let me bring it up on screen here. All right. So this is what it looks like when you're looking at an actual live analytics account. Yeah, it's pretty big. So I just want to make sure it's bigger for broadcasting. When I go to reports, now I can take a look at this, and let's say I want to see not the last 28 days. I can go in here and see this year, January to date, and I can apply that. It's going to update the numbers, and this is just a snapshot of what's happening. Now I can also go into real time right here and see who's actually here. So there are 6 people on the website right now, and I can see they're in Minneapolis. Well, this is in Lubbock, not me, so close to me. Bastrop, Washington, and New York. So I can see where the people are that are actually, and what are they doing? A little bit more about what they're looking at, what they're interested. Where did they come from? They came from Facebook, so I actually see where they came from. Now I can also go into acquisition to see where they came from. What's acquisition mean? Where are you getting people from? Where is the traffic coming from? So what is traffic? The people who are actually coming to your site. That is traffic. So traffic, or the number of people who come to your site. Yes, Dan, please show that button for real time again. Yes, when you drop into analytics, so we'll start there, Dan. Great question. You start here. So it looks like this. All of Google tool navigations happen on the left side. You're going to drop into reports, click reports, and then you'll see you have report snapshot, which is what you see in front of you. It's just kind of the highlight, right? The highlight reel. Then you're going to click on real time, and that is your real time report of what's happening. And you can minus this out so you get a better view, especially if you're reaching across worldwide, right, Crystal? In the Philippines, you're reaching out that far. So you might want to be able to see the whole world or different regions of the world. Dan, so there you are. Great question. Now here on this left side, you will see several things that you can find and look at. One that I like to look at quite a bit, because people will think that they're getting traffic from TikTok, right? So where are they acquiring people to come to their site? Well, you can have traffic, which is the number of times people are coming to your site, or user acquisition. So what's so different about this? User acquisition, this could be Maria in the morning. I'm dropping off the kiddos and I went to your site. Now I'm at a coffee shop waiting to meet with a customer, and I throw it over to my laptop. Now I'm back waiting to pick up some lunch, and I'm on my tablet, so I throw it to my tablet. Then I get back to my office, I throw it to my desktop. And then from my desktop, I go home and I'm on my phone, and then I throw it back to my smart TV. Those is me, one user, one person. But how many times did I actually access the site? So all those different points are considered traffic, but it's still just me. So it could be 7 to 12 to 15 visits for one person to come in, right? So it's one person, but they could be utilizing a lot of different tools. So when I look at user acquisitions, then I can click here, and now you can actually see what is doing best for you. So what's working out best. So in this instance, for this business, Cross Network, they're doing a lot of promoting. They are doing a lot of ads within Facebook and Google, and also Bing, because don't discount Bing. You know, the Windows is actually on all of the devices we buy by default. So a lot of people don't remove that off, and they just use it. So it doesn't mean that they love it best. They just use it. It's easier. Direct, remember what I said about direct, they know your name. They know your name. So this is really important. But look at the engagement rate here. That's what you're looking for. So you may remember that bounce rate is something that you wanted to keep low. You wanted more people to stay and not bounce. Well, engagement rate is different. You want to keep that high. About 60% is a good, healthy engagement rate, because especially now in this case, I know that they're doing a lot of ads. They did a revision of ads last week. So they're going to get what's known as a lot of dirty traffic. People coming in, looky-loos to see, and then they're going to leave. They're not necessarily going to stick around, because they are not the best traffic. They're just searching for that same keyword, or they had an interest. So then from there, we'll be able to see who came to the site, and now put together a list of people that are more focused, we can remarket to, and then also focus on these people, because now we know who that best customer is. We've filtered through the dirty traffic to really know what what people are looking for. Now, if you hit the plus sign here and you go to traffic source and you say cross channel and you say source medium, now it's going to tell me. Yep, see, it's not, I don't have to even guess. It's not Bing ads, it's not Facebook ads, it's Google ads. That's Google CPC, cost per click. That means that's an ad. Direct means that they put in your actual website address. They directly know you. They know your name. Paid social, Facebook is bringing in the third. Google comes back again, right, with paid search, because Google utilizes 3,000 different surfaces where it shows your Google ads. So it could be a few different places. Klaviyo is an email marketing tool, so their email marketing is coming in fifth. It's in the top 10. So they've got Facebook, Google, Klaviyo. It's coming in. So it's flows and Klaviyo campaigns. So in email marketing, you have campaigns like it's Mother's Day, or you may want to purchase this. We've got 15% off, but a flow means, oh, you abandoned the cart. So these are automatic flows that are transaction based. They did a behavior on your site, and now all of a sudden it triggered an email. And there are about 8 different emails that you need to set up with transactions. Okay. So how long does it need to take? Thank you, Sean. I see you there helping everyone out. So it takes about 24 hours. He is correct. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer when you're using a tool like this, but you can use Google Tag Manager to really help you hone in on events and exactly what's happening. We'll talk about that in a bit, right? So now you can see where your users are coming from, your traffic, you can see your engagement rate. But remember when I started this live demo, I said you can use the search box. So let me just go in here and say engagement rate. It comes up with the overall engagement rate. Now I'm just looking from May here, so it's only looking at the month to date, but I can at least start there and know where my numbers are. So you don't have to be able to know all the filters and segments like I just did, plus that in, filtered this out, started looking for this. It's cool stuff that may be neat to know, but when you're trying to take care of your customers and you're dealing with customer calls and delivery, you may not want and have any time for neat to know. You just need to know, make some decisions, and you're ready to go. So you can do that by using Google's search up here, which is analytics intelligence that can help you find all information. Sales today. Okay, so it can't give me sales right today, but like sales this month, because it's still calculating sales in. So it's giving me the number of transactions, revenue. So now, if they had that plugged in, which I know they're plugging in their conversion and their actual goals right now, so they don't have that, but you could start taking a look at that. So we can click on here and it'll take us to what Google is already seeing, just even having the limited view, because not everything is actually tagged and focused on that yet. But you can get this from your basic analytics, so you don't even have to utilize any tags or events. That just helps you get better at looking at specific things, and you're not distracted by other information. You're looking specifically at the data that you need to be able to make some good business decisions, right? And good positive business decisions. Does that make sense to everybody? Was that helpful to you? All right, let me get this out of the way. So we know that search box is there. Sean, you got it from me. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate the love. I do. So you can get answers fast there, and you can learn more about it by going to the link at the bottom left. So you'll see g.co/grow/AI. This instance is our analytics intelligence, not artificial intelligence. Although there's a little of that in there as well. But Google has built that out to make it easier for you to navigate whenever you need to make quick decisions. So as you're looking at your insights, you can see insights that are recommended that tell you a little bit more about your business. So you may not know what numbers to search at, but you're still learning, right? You're still learning and growing and trying to figure that out. So you might want to look at insights to get an idea of, okay, give me an idea, Google, leaning into and understanding my actual industry and all your history that you have in my industry, exactly what it is it that you see. All right, what would you recommend? So when you're, again, I'm going to bring that to the live demo. When you're here, and again, this is where you land at home. So the home is the report snapshot. You can go over here to what looks like a little graph with some sparkles around it, and you can get some insights there. So it's looking for total revenue there, right? You can bring that out. You can also see if there's any other suggested insights. So right now it's just revenue, since I brought that up a minute ago. Going to bring it back here, see if it'll, no, it's still holding on to that. You can also start looking here at your reports. You can also see here on the left-hand side that tech that people are using. So you can use that. You can examine people's behavior, examine user behavior. So you can see exactly what they're doing, where are they spending time. Wow, they love this page more than anything else. They're coming in, of course, from web, because this business does not have an app. So they're not coming in from app, but if they had an app, they could see that as well. How well are they keeping their current customers, right? How many are returning customers? Remember we talked about that too. And what's the engagement like? And what's the lifetime value of a customer? That's also important. These are important numbers that we actually need to know. We need to know what our average order value is, how much it costs us to get a new customer, and what's the lifetime value of our customer. So we can set up these different alerts. In this instance, in the example on your screen here in the presentation, you'll see it came up with a lot of different insights and recommendations. So you can click here and decide that you want to take action on any of these insights that Google is telling you from leaning into its experience with that industry. Okay? Is it possible to connect Instagram? It is possible to show that Instagram is actually showing and flowing through traffic to you. So yes, you can absolutely do that. And now you'll know whether or not these socials are actually working. I'm a big fan of socials, but you need to know if it's working for you, especially since we only all have 86,400 seconds in any given day, right? So you can look at explorations on that left-hand side. It's the third icon down to really get into exploring and taking a look around. Would socials and GA show different data? It could. It could. So Renata, know that I will sometimes see on, let's say on Instagram, I'll see that somebody clicked through to an action and they came to the site, but then I don't see them actually landing on the site. So there's a lot that can happen in between when they click and when they get there. So know that a site needs to load in 1.2 seconds on a mobile device in order for you to retain people. Because if it doesn't load in 1.2 seconds on your mobile, you lose over half, 53% of your traffic, and every second after that, you lose another 10%. So that could be devastating if they're coming from fast-paced Instagram, which loads like crazy, right? It really can do that quickly, and it comes to your site and it experiences a 2-second delay. So they could have clicked on Facebook, but now you don't see them captured on your actual site because they never actually got to see your site. It took too long to load. So in Eva and Ricky's case, they did their SMART goal and they tested things and they found out the 3 cities were not the same. So you see, they could have wasted their time thinking, okay, by our gut, we think it's these 3 cities, but they're looking at the actual number here. And as they look at the actual number, now they can make some really solid business decisions that are not emotion based because she loves Chicago and he loves Philadelphia. It is because they actually see the numbers. So when you use analytics with ad, and I want to walk you through this, not again about ads, but because if you are utilizing ads, that you can use them and make them more powerful for you. When you link the two together, right? When you link the two together, think about that for a moment. Ads is out there promoting everything on your site. Analytics is measuring how people behave. It gives you a real understanding of your target audience and what they like to look at. Don't you want the learning from Google Analytics to teach Google Ads, linking the two together, what works and what doesn't? You see, I see a lot of people paying a lot for ads. Cost per click, so the cost to actually get them click or to call or to acquire a new customer is higher because they don't have the two linked. And so Google Analytics is not speaking to Google Ads and teaching Google Ads who is that best customer for you and how can we reach them most effectively. You also are missing out on what's known as low-hanging search engine optimization. Google tools love Google tools. Google's the #1 search engine in the world, right? It's where people go when they want to know, go, do, or buy. And it shows up people hire and search organically just because it needs to be relevant and helpful to the person that's searching. You've heard about helpful user content. So when Google tools can connect Google Analytics, Google Ads, YouTube, because that's a Google product, Google Business Profile, Google Merchant Center, Google Console. When all of those connect together, all of a sudden, Google now says, you know what? They're a real business. This is for real. And they really are being very consistent, which consistency builds brand trust. When we can see consistency, because we'll get bored with things before anybody in the world even sees it. But when we can consistently show that we're over here in this platform, we're over here, our messaging is the same, the information, they can find things, people feel comfort in that. And when people feel comfort, the search engine feels confident and it shows you higher because it's confident in you as a business. So are you providing that and linking the two together? So how you can do that is if you'll go to the left-hand side of analytics, all the way to the bottom, there's that gear icon that's there. That gear icon, if you'll click there, you'll now see this column, the second column come up, and you'll see that Google Ads icon right there, right in front of you. So let me see if I can show you that in real time without covering my whole screen. All right, let me bring that up again with a real time. So remember, all the navigation happens on the left. We veer over to the left. We go here to the gear icon. We hit that gear icon down here. And now if we scroll, we now see this layout. We can see the Google ad links, right? Looks like A with missing the line in between, but it's right there, that primary colored Google Ads link. And now we can click on it. And I know this one's already connected, so I'm not going to do that. But if you click on it, then it will walk you through with a series of steps that you need to do to connect it. So it's pretty intuitive. Just follow along and you'll be able to connect that together. Make sense to everybody? I want to make sure you saw that. And I see some questions here, so let me just get this out of the way so I'm not covering things. All right. I see a question here. How do you connect socials? I was able to connect my website easy, but I'm having a hard time connecting Instagram. So Louisa, what you're going to do is you're going to use a UTM, a unique tracking metric. So I will actually make a note that I'll send that to you by email. How to set up your UTMs. I didn't bring that link up, unfortunately, and there are too many websites in my head, but I will get that to you. Louisa, in fact, when you get a copy of today's recording and the handout, will you reply to that email? Because that's my email address, and that'll remind me, just in case I get distracted by anything else. I don't want you to think I forgot you. I just got distracted, so please remind me. I'd really appreciate it. How to check to see if your ads is linked to analytics. Yeah, let's take a look at that real quick. All right, so let me bring that up. Right, we're going here to Google Ad Links and it's showing, see, it is all enabled. Everything's enabled and everything's linked. The date it was linked is right there. If you don't see this and you see a walkthrough of what you need to do next, then that means it's not linked. Okay, so you need to go through those steps that it's presenting to you and go ahead and link the two together. Does that make sense? Who was that who asked? That was Susan. All right, perfect. Oh, the email, yes. Any of you who registered for this, whatever email you registered with, you're going to get a copy of today's slides, the recording, the replay. That'll be later this afternoon. And then you'll also get the handout as well. All right. So now you can set up your Google Analytics. You can set your goals. You can test them. You can learn exactly what is best and measure those results. So now here's the thing, everyone. These are your Google partners. They are the ones who really are there locally, and I'm all about local business. So they can let you know who they refer to, who has the bandwidth, who can support and who actually does and provides these services, or they can walk you through themselves. They can teach you where you need to go and what you need to look through in Google Analytics and how to find the specifics. And they are boots on the ground there for you, so you can go to a local area, a local building, a local organization, and you can find that. So these are the people to reach out to. Anybody, any of the Google partners, if you want to put and drop your contact information, but just think of who invited you to this event, because that's really who you need to reach out to. Again, there are so many people wonderful across Illinois, here in Midland, in all across Texas. I mean, we've got a lot of people everywhere. So make sure you take a look around. Is there a Google partner in Vancouver, Canada? Sean, if there is, we can find one for you on our list. I don't know that there's anybody right here. There's somebody from the Philippines, but nobody right here that I saw yet check in from Canada and that we're working with. So I can definitely connect you with who a Google partner is, or you know what, you can Google it, Sean. You can actually Google it, but I can find that for you. Now here's the key. I just went through a lot of information, 51 minutes of a lot of information, and this could be great info for you that you're just going to file away and think, okay, that's great. Knowledge is not powerful. That's a myth. It is not powerful until it is applied. So what are you going to apply? I would love to know. What was the URL at the start? G.co. It should be g.co/grow, Grow, /AI. All right. So this is where you can actually apply. So what is it that you're going to apply to make the 51 minutes that we just spent together actually worth something to you, where you're working on your business and truly steering your business, making those good business decisions. So if you want to give a shout out in the chat box, I'd love to hear what you're actually going to apply. Is it better to delete all that stuff and start over or not? Probably, well, did you set it up since July 2023, or did you just come over from Universal Analytics to Google Analytics? Let me know, okay? All right. I do also want to offer to you, you've got your Google partners. We're doing something starting May 13th, which is the 12 metrics to watch weekly. It's actually a challenge because, hey, when I first got onto Twitter and Instagram, I did it from challenges. So I had, I think, like 3 Twitter followers and got started there. And now I have 16,100 Twitter followers. And that's because I started a chat on Twitter. But it was a challenge that made me post every day. It had to get me into that habit of doing something. So this is actually doing something in analytics and understanding your metrics every single day. If you want to participate, let me know. Utilize that link or that QR code. They work. I would love for you to participate, especially especially since this is fresh on your mind. You don't have to. And of course, I always model what I teach everybody. When you've provided good service or good solution, ask for a review. That is the time to ask. 87% of people would have given you a positive review had you asked them for a review, but they were never asked. So it's important to do that. You don't have to give me a review, but I do want to show you that I am asking for a review. So I do actually practice what I preach, okay? And this is how you can connect with me outside of here. Now, I do want to answer your questions. I am going to go ahead and stop recording right now.